So first of all, if anybody, anybody have admin people? If you have admin people, today's their day. So make sure that you thank them. Like Brenna, thank
Oh,
you.
it is. Yes, thank you.
Did you know that today is the day,
I actually just
Administrative
got a
Professional
little thing.
Day?
Yeah, I got a little thing on my, like, I have some calendar reminder of, yeah, day, whatever. It's like days that says what, some are funny, some are, you make sense, National Donut Day or whatever.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah,
National Admin Day.
All of
yeah.
us admin people at Enclave got a nice little surprise this morning, so it
Yeah,
was
what
good.
did you get? I know what it is. What did you get?
We got a half day, a surprise half day off. So thank
Oh,
you. Shout
that's
out to
nice.
everyone's admin people.
And since it applies, since we're talking about teams, I will say one thing that is really cool, that means a lot, is for this day, we actually do ask everybody to contribute, like all the agents. And since we're speaking about agent productivity and engagement, I think it fits where it's really cool that they contributed. So it's all the agents put money in to buy their time. We didn't know what we were going to do. We kind of wanted to do this. We've done it before, and I think it's the most appreciated, especially when you work around agents who seem to be coming and going and having this like lackadaisical life. But it was really cool that we asked everyone to contribute, and we got over $1,000. And we like did the math, and that would buy everybody a half a day off paid. So it's exciting.
Hey, Christian, you want to spearhead for the admin? Christian, go spearhead right now. Okay.
Christian.
He's gone.
Go out and do a collection today. Hey,
Just
did you guys
kidding.
know?
I'm showing up to the office with my can. And they're like, all right,
Yeah.
a day off for me.
I mean, but
No
not
days
all at
off,
once,
baby.
not everybody at once either. You don't get to like, I'll take the day off, but anyways. So
Yeah, that's
today though,
right.
it is kind of great. And I think we'll talk about that a little bit, is agent productivity. And part of productivity we're going to talk about is, like I said, engagement and just being part of something, which is why we choose to have a team. My name is Beth Nordowney. I run a team in Minnesota between two cities, Rochester and Minneapolis, St. Paul. We have about, right now we're down to about 35 agents, 35, 40 agents, 10 admins, about 50 people total. Been in real estate over 20 years. Miss Siri.
We're so similar. Yeah, so same thing in San Diego. We run a team, and actually, interesting enough, we're expanding into two areas as well. Maybe not necessarily like states, but we have San Diego, and we're expanding into Riverside pretty heavily. And we have a team of about 70-ish or so people, including admin, VAs, and all that fun stuff. And yep, I have been running a team for about 6 years. So I did 16 years solo and then about 6 years running a team. So we're very similar, Beth, in what we do, which is really cool because the language that we speak is very similar when we bring all of these ideas to you guys.
Yeah. And so I don't know, take a minute. In the room, as far as like, we're going to try to gear this today, it's really about agent productivity, and you honestly could probably use it on yourself. And whether you have 1 agent, 5 agents, 30 agents, 70 agents, 60 agents, it would work. So you can go ahead and go to the next slide, and tell what we're going to talk about today is, like I said, we just did our introductions. I don't know if there's anything, Siri, like if you want to recap from last month, and then just kind of what we're going to talk about today. We always do save time for Q&A and conversation, which Siri and I talked about this week, is important, that we want to maybe, like she said, always provide good content. Maybe if it's a little bit deeper, which is what we wanted to do, but leave a lot of time for conversation and kind of roundtabling. That's important to us. And then we'll talk about our next session, which Siri kind of already has. Anything you want to recap from last month?
Yeah, yeah. So recap, and just to let you guys know, because there's a few people on here, there's people that watch. I think we have a lot of viewers that end up rewatching this, from what we can see. So just to put it out there, if there's anything that you are like, hey, I want to go back and see those slides or get that information, we put it on YouTube. And so you can go back and find all of that. Liv, it's on our, it's under the Brand Realty YouTube, basically. Or if you search my name, YouTube, I think it comes up too. or you see my other account with my little kids growing up and all that. So whichever one you want to watch. But anyways, I just want to let you know that a lot of this information. So to recap, last month we went over, and we had a guest last month. So we had 2 sessions. What do you provide? And it was really a deep dive into showing the back end, the systems, what we offer. And so I would really encourage you to go back if you're just getting started, or if you are at a level where Beth and I are at, and you're like, okay, I have some holes. What are you guys using, or anything in between, really? Go back and take a look at what we provide, because I think that's really important to have that foundation set for your team. So it was really important last month to have that one. That's
All right. Today, what we're going to talk about is agent productivity and all the essential ingredients that foster agents to be productive. And productive means usually selling and doing what we're supposed to be doing, which is really tough today when there's a lot of distractions and what people categorize as work. And next slide, go ahead.
Which I think is kind of cool that you're on here, Christian. So Christian's an agent on the team, and I'm going to pull you in, and you've always been so helpful with all this stuff. So I just want to throw that out there, like Q&A time, or just pulling you in. I think this will be really cool to have you there.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
So a 4-course meal today served up for you. The first one is starter, which we're going to talk a little bit about cultural integration, which is a fancy way of just that it's important that your agents know and understand your values, your mission, what you're trying to do, you know, how you kind of see serving clients, and honestly, just like I said, the culture. That's a lot of what people join teams and stay, is if they like, just like we like real, and the collaboration and the culture of what it is, like sharing. We like Tamir, we like Sharon, right? I mean, all the people that go into it. The main course is really just role comprehension and personal motivation. Side dish, target audience, understanding, process, implementation. And then for desserts, goal clarity and performance tracking. So go ahead. All right. So I think the thing with cultural integration, which sounds really fancy, but simply put, is a culture of a company really depends on the leadership. And I love this quote. It's like, no pressure, but leadership can make or break a company. And I know that we see this in corporate world and in real estate, but this really comes down to the leadership, and it starts at the top. Would you agree, Siri?
For sure.
Yeah. I like to think of the example, like I think the way that we can all, I like to talk about real, and the way that we can all relate it is that we all respect. I think I've not come across anyone who doesn't like Sharon or Tamir, right? And they are an example of the culture. They live it, they exemplify it, they show up, that's who they are. We know our values at Real. They're really good at getting them out there. We all adopt them. It's something that unites all of us in feeling like that we've got something in common. And so I think that the same thing when we take it to the team level, it's just a smaller, or a group within a group, where really it's like, how are we aligned in like how we see the future of real estate, how we're practicing, what we value, what our vision, what our mission is. And one of the things I always love to talk about when you don't have, you can stop maybe the screen share for a sec, this slide, just to have a break from it. But one of my favorite things I love to talk about is that I had okay, just making sure it's not on. Probably will see it because he watches a lot of this stuff, but it's okay. I had an agent, and one of the things that's really important at Enclave is like, we really want to support local businesses, and we love like, yeah, just doing small business just like us, right? And something that's local. We do a pie event every year, and I always try to use a Minnesota company. We used to use a local Rochester company and one in the Twin Cities. And honestly, it just got to be, we had too many pies and the bakery could not make them all. So we went to a Minnesota company that can do it. I had an agent on the team, and he was insistent that we should just buy our pies at Costco, because the Costco pies were huge and they were only $7 and these pies were, maybe they're $11, I don't know, but these pies that we were giving out are $25, right? This argument went on for like a few days where it was like, I don't really care if they're bigger, and anyone can go to Costco and get a pie. And Costco isn't like a wow, because I think it's different to have something that's baked from scratch, just from a bakery. It's a branding thing. It's something to talk about. People show up at Thanksgiving with it. This isn't Costco. But it was insistent on like, can I just do Costco pies? I don't want to spend $25. And this sounds really silly, but I want to tell you that like, it's a cultural mismatch, right? Because to him, it was about economy and scale and ease and money, not about an experience, not about like what we're trying to provide is this 5-star experience. So even when we come down to our brand, it just wasn't a fit. And eventually we parted ways. And I joke all the time that literally it was the Costco pie deal that broke us, but it was constant battle of like, why can't we do this? Why can't we make it like more simple? And why does it have to look this way? And I want this. And it just was like, you should be your own brand then. Do you agree? Do you have a similar theory relate to that?
Yeah, I mean, you always have, well, Christian, you've kind of been with us on the roller coaster ride of agents coming and going, and you're always going to have agents coming and going, right? Like, and sometimes you're elevating them into another position or wherever they need to go. Sometimes agents just get out of the business completely, whatever it is. But we went through kind of a thick period over the last, what was it, year and a half ago or so, where we had agents. It was like, come one, come all, and come on over, and nobody knew anybody and all that stuff. And we really weren't gauging it off of our culture at all. And I actually I'm just going to, Christian, you and I are going to be here together today. I'm going to use you as an example. I say Christian really is like he's a form of me, right? And so like whoever you have on your team, you really have to take a look at, like you said, those core values and make sure that they're aligned. And so when you speak about core values, and if you're just building your team, or if you have a team and you're like, something's just not working right, definitely go back to those core values. And I built our core values off of reviews from, I took a look at like, what were some of the reviews that we had coming in that people were saying about me personally. And so I built out our core values from what my clients, when I was solo, because a lot of us are solo and then we build teams, were saying about me. We've since revised it a little bit, because as we grow, I grow too and change. Everybody just grows and changes. And we see who's coming in, then we revise that a little bit more as we go. We get agent input. But, Christian, you've
And you
seen
have such
this
a
too.
big
We've
heart and you
had,
love everybody. So it's like you
oh,
want to
thank
you want
you.
to work on everyone and you want everyone to work out, but sometimes it's just not a good fit and growing too fast was like just caused more stress
Yeah.
than it did progress, you know.
Totally. Yeah. And I'm an opportunist. I don't like to say no to things. And so we were getting a lot of opportunity, and I was like, let's grow. And it just was this big, thing. And so then we've taken our onboarding and we've really scaled it down so that we have like 3 layers that you have to get through in order to get there. And will we still have a few people come in that aren't going to perform the way that we want them to, or we expected, or it's just not a good match both ways? For sure, it's going to happen. But we really haven't had that kind of thing happen anymore. And I also want to emphasize something about a great leader that's really, really important to me personally, and that's the word integrity. And we've talked about this on our team. Is as a leader, you have to have really high integrity. So what that means is you do what you say, right? And so I feel like the best leaders is, take a look at yourself. If you're telling them to do something and you're expecting things, but you're not holding those standards, right? If Tamir and Sharon weren't holding those same standards that they're telling us, really you need to maybe, take a look at, is this the right role as a team leader? Personally, it's that important to hold that integrity. And I just do have a one quick story. I literally had an agent come to the team, won't say names. They probably won't see this. You guys can guess, for anybody on my team that's watching. I had this agent that bucked me so hard, so many times on everything. It actually created a lot of really cool processes and changes on our team, I will have to say. We found a lot of loopholes. However, that person literally had me on the phone one day for 3 hours, just like this erotic back and forth, like just like, oh my gosh, yes, I like you, I don't like you. That's what they were doing to me. That night, I literally passed out. And I passed out. I woke up on the floor going, why did I do that? And then I was like, I remembered I had 3 hours of this, like, just crazy interaction with that agent that day. And like Christian, you say I'm such a lover and a people pleaser with stuff. It literally tanked me. And to me, that was like the pivoting day as a leader that I said, I can't have these people in my life. Not that they're a bad person, they're just not the right person for myself. And if I'm going through this, my team members are seeing this too. And I need to be the protector of all those things. So,
Yeah.
yep, that's my
To
story.
bring it full circle, like when we're talking about agent productivity today, like it is something that matters, because in order to, there's a lot of things we're going to talk about, like in order to be productive, and productivity comes from a motivation ourselves, like every single person, and each on their own. And so if I'm not culturally aligned, if I disagree, right? You can imagine if you're in a company and you don't agree with as simple as like pies to everything that's being done, and it's just every day is a battle, or it doesn't have to be every day. It just, you are not going to be productive because you are going to feel like there's something off. And so I think that's something it's important. Okay, back to the slides, we'll move on. The second one, like the main course, like no, the second thing that's really important for agent productivity, and it seems these things can sound simple, but they're really important. Oh, we got motivation. Okay, so motivation is, what's motivation? Anybody? Oh, go ahead. Motivation, go ahead, is why a person does something, okay? It's like that simple. People, people are always motivated. And you can stop this screen share too at this one too, because it's just, that's something I just wanted to put in front of you visually. So everybody's motivated. They just might not be motivated to do what you want them to do. Okay. That's like, I think that motivation is very personal. It's elusive. Like one day you have it, then the next day you don't, or maybe you see somebody's post on social media and then you feel like, okay, I'm a failure, and then it's gone. Sometimes people aren't even fully aware of what charges them up. Sorry, I got my stupid light. I think you can see me okay, but someone switched something in here. So if you don't even know what motivates you, it's really tough to be motivated. Motivation, you cannot, as a leader, and I think this is really important, literally, you really can't motivate someone else unless there's like stress, or like if you hold a gun to somebody's head, that's motivating, right? That's like a crazy example, but you can get someone to do what you want. If you penalize people, right, is potential where if you say, fine, if you don't do this, like you're not going to get leads, right? Or I'm not going to do this for you. It is possible that you can get someone to do something for a short period of time, right? It's like you're putting someone in stress or duress directly, and then you can motivate them. But true motivation and what we want in productivity is having agents understand, why do I want to make these phone calls? Why do I want to take these leads? Why do I want to call through 100 people to see if anyone is interested, or text, email, whatever, to see if someone wants to buy a home? And so as leaders, the mistake we often make is that we try to motivate our team through our own energy. And I think Siri is not the exact example of that, but so what happens is what? You crash and burn, right? You're exhausted. You feel like, why isn't anything working? I'm giving everything. And I see new leaders do this even on my team, where they feel like, oh, I'm so frustrated. And every time you try to get someone to do something through your own energy, that is not going to, first of all, yield any probably long-lasting results. And secondly, it's just going to be really taxing on you. You may be able to get a little jump start, you may be able to get them to do something for a week, but it's not going to be long-term. So in order to be long-lasting and create an atmosphere where people are motivated to be high achievers, and high achievers doesn't mean everyone's going to be top producers. High achievers to like, hey, I actually achieved my goal. I actually did what I wanted to do. In your personal and your business life, you've got to find out what motivates them. And that is something that is really, really important when we're talking about agent productivity, is this myth. And I think that's like the next screen, is that you have to use a different different strategy, but everybody has their own makeup of what this is. So, right, you can agree that every agent on their team has their own personal goals, whether they want to buy a car, whether they want to pay off a house, whether they want to take their family to Disneyland or Disney World, whether they just want to pay their bills or make it in real estate. I mean, everyone has their own personal goals. It might be health. And there's a little bit of a typo here because it says the job. The job doesn't get two circles. So one of them is the job, and that is important. It has to be a good match. So the job I'm doing has to be a good behavioral match for me. So this is something when we're motivating agents. I've had agents before, and again, like Siri said, when you do this and you get 10, now I'm at 14 years of running a team, and I get a lot of repetitions of agents and seeing this. You understand, like, when you have a behavioral mismatch. Okay, so if I talk to someone in recruiting and they want to be in real estate, but they have no sphere or database, they don't know 100 people or more, they really don't want to call people, they really aren't comfortable doing texting or outreach, and they don't really do any networking, they just love houses and showing homes and the idea of it. That is a behavior mismatch. Okay. So if you get somebody who isn't like a driver, who isn't like motivated, who isn't like excited to like take coaching, and I was like, yeah, I'll text people, I'll reach out to people, I'll go to an open house, I will go knock doors, I will, you don't have to do knock doors. Like, you don't have to do all of those, but you have to do some makeup of them, right, to be successful as an agent. But if that is discomfort for you, and how this shows up is like in the most simple terms. I mean, we do these behavioral tests for people, but a simple way is like the DISC analysis. I think a lot of real estate people, they did a really good job in the real estate industry putting that out to everybody. So the D is your drive, right? Is if your D is like 1, 2, or 3, like 10, 20, or 30% of you are going to have trouble in real estate. Because if you just feel like I am really happy staying in the office and behind a computer and doing tasks, that's going to be tough. That's going to be really tough. If you don't have influence over people, it's going to be tough. So the job is really important, that they're a match for what you're asking them to do. And then the team functions at a high level when they care about each other. So that was the third one, is it would say the personal goals, the team, and the job. And the team is like, right, and I'm sure Siri, you can relate to this and speak to this, but on the team, everybody will help anybody answer a question, and everyone's there for each other. And that, like, that team of like caring and someone gives a shit about me is like really important too. Anything you want to say to that?
I actually have two team members on here, so I just kind of want to see from them personally what you
Yeah.
guys, what what is that motivation piece? Like, what do you feel from being on a team? So Christian and then Jen, I see you here too. What is that that drives you?
Yeah, I've been with the team for like 4 years now, like a while, and I think it is a pivotal source of my rapid success. I started on the team when I was like 20, yeah, not 19 or 20, and I had only sold like one or two houses for my grandma and one open house, and like really being on the team, having the collaboration, being able to have people that are have your back, you can talk to them, ask them questions, gain different insights of experience and different ways to do things. You kind of can create your own style. It helps you just have way more confidence to go out there and go and be productive and go put up some numbers. My motivation was when I started in real estate, I just was working two jobs in college and I never had any money or time and I hated it. So realistically, I just wanted to kind of build something for myself, and corporate America did not sound appealing at all to me because I graduated with my degree, but I just could not imagine working in corporate America, especially now that I do this. But working on the team I think is pivotal, like was total crucial to me being like as successful as quickly as I was. And having the camaraderie, being able to talk to anyone on Slack, there's people always willing to give their vendors or give insights, hop on phone calls. I think it's just night and day difference than trying to do it on your own. And I think I would recommend it for anybody new and experienced like that if they're not struggling. If they don't already have their own team and they're struggling, being on the right team that matches your personality is going to make it enjoyable, and I think you're going to see success a lot quicker.
See, Christian nailed it. Like being on the right team that matched your personality is like what we talked about earlier. And then our goal as leaders is to create that environment for them to show up and plug in. And it's not always just the rally. I mean, I do put on our Slack, your biggest fan, because I truly am excited to see them grow. And I'm excited to see the right people grow that are aligned with us. That excites me to see Christian up there because he truly has grown, like from 0 to Agent of the Year last year, you know? And then we got Jen on here. Jen joined us last year and she's a year in, and we kind of have, so talk about motivation. We kind of have a fun kind of, actually, Christian, you're a part of it too, but like I'm back in production and we all have a fun, friendly banter that we cheer each other on. And I'm saying, hey Jen, I want you to come get me. Hey Christian, I want you to come get me. Hey, like you guys, and they'll surpass me and that's okay, right? And so we have this like fun culture of people. And Jen, when I met you, I already knew. I was like, Jen's my people all day long. And so I don't know, I'd love your feedback too on like what motivates you about being on the team.
I absolutely love it. I was just talking to somebody about this yesterday because there's just so much advantage to being on a team. It's the community, it's the training, it's the coaching, it's the feedback, it's just constant encouragement. Like I just never feel alone. Like I feel like I have a tribe of people that I can go to about anything. And I love that. Like I love that our Slack channel even has a vent channel. I mean, that's cool, right? Just to give you a moment to, release, something, but it's just great. I love going into the offices on the meeting days, because it's just like, these are my people. Like we're all trying to accomplish the same thing. And Mike and we always talk about, you know what, when we rise, and I love the competition too, because I'm totally like low key competitive. But and I love that. It's super fun to be like that. But also at the same time, Mike and we firmly believe that when our ship rises, everyone rises. Like everyone on the ship rises. Like we want to succeed so that Siri, you and the whole team can succeed. Like we want everyone to come along board and we want to see everyone crush it.
Yeah. See, those are the right people. Those are my people, right? Like those are the people, and the people that have come on. So thank you, both of you guys. The people that have come on are the people that just, my word is buck. They come on and they buck the system. They buck me. They buck what we're trying to come up with to help people. We try to come up with things to help, and then they kick it back and they think that we're trying to do something bad. And hey, I'll be the first to say that we don't always do it right. And we acknowledge that and we try to change it quickly, or we, really try to have respect for people. And the right people on your team will see that and acknowledge it with you, and they'll grow with you. And so I know this is about agent productivity. However, you really got to start with those core things to be able to have a happy environment for your agents to be productive. You can't just come in as an authoritarian saying, this is just the way it is and this is the way it'll be. Or if you do that, then those are the people you're going to have with you, and you have to be ready for that as well.
Mm-hmm. Right. And I think like you said, so when you have all three of these, obviously it's like magical and unstoppable. Like, so Siri and her team members talked a lot about like what it is about the team to be in that environment. So as you can see, even from two people, it's a lot of positivity. It really helps them be in a good mental space, right? And to feel good and to feel supported and to feel in community. And then again, to do the job. And then also if they understand their personal goals and like why they're doing it, like even as simple as like if Christian's saying like, I'm doing it because I don't want to be in corporate America. Like that was a big motivation for me for all my years, is like, if I had to be somewhere at 8 a.m. every day and punch out at 5 o'clock, that would be like the death of me. Right. I mean, that would just be like, that's so motivating not to have to take a job. That motivates me to this day. So I get that, like, right? It's like knowing your motivation is really powerful.
Totally. Christian's a married man too, so he just got married, so we all need to congratulate him.
Congrats. That's
I know.
exciting. Yeah.
Hey, I've got to gather a few things just because I have a 10 o'clock. And so
Yep.
I'm going to just, my camera's going to go off, but I'm here with you guys. I just
Yep.
want you to know that. Cool.
Awesome. Thank you. So, okay. So then the next thing is before we get to this, and it's on, if you don't mind, maybe I didn't have it pulled up, but if you want to see is like understanding their role. Okay. And so, having a job description is really important. And Brenna, it's in the team cookbook. It's like there's like a link to it. But I think that right, if you're trying to, like I said, this is as a team leader, the point of this is like, how do I help agents be the most productive that they can? And first of all, the agents have to understand what is the team's responsibility, and they have to understand like what is my responsibility. And if they understand it on the team, or even as an agent, if I'm producing what my responsibility is, then it's easier to hold somebody like, right, accountable, to understand the motivation, to understand where maybe that you have that, I love to say that behavioral mismatch, like behavioral mismatch, like for me, one of the things I struggle with is repetitive tasks, right? I can't sit down and like just do detail. That's really, inconsistency is really tough for me as like a human being. And so that's something that there are things that you do need to be consistent. You do need to have consistent follow-up. I struggle with that. So I have to have kind of something built in to help with that. Did you find it, Brenna? It's on, like, if
Here's the
you,
link. I don't have access to it. It
you
was,
don't have access to it. Okay, let me
that's
pull
when I
it.
have to it.
I
I
can
have the
pull it.
next one though.
Yeah. Well, let's, in light of time, like I can pull up our job description at the end, but I can just basically talk about like, what is the job description of an agent? Sure, you guys can talk about it, right? Set appointments, reach out to contacts, write offers, communicate with people regularly, making sure that you have, you're willing to understand like the database and the systems, like, but having it in writing with a job description, even though, like I said, I am the biggest advocate for not working in corporate America, it also provides boundaries and expectations in something that you can get an agreement with of like, okay, are we doing these things or are we not? So I think that's something that is important. If we have check-ins, then we have something to check in on. It's like, okay, well, how's it going? With the expectations, and it's in motivation. It's really important that we have clear expectations of each other. Like my role that I'm here to play, ultimately, like I'm going to use Christian because he's the guy today that gets like, this would be the example, but
He's fine.
he's fine.
He
But
likes it.
he likes it. Okay, good. But like, ultimately it's Christian's job if he wants to be successful, right? Like I said, I can't make him, and it's up to him to be successful in real estate. He needs to do the work. He needs to do what it takes. I'm here to make sure that he knows what work that is, and also check in with him and see how it's going and troubleshoot and say, are you stuck? Do you need help? Like, should we, talk about something or chat something out or put you in contact with someone? Is it a skill you need? Like, that's my role, right? And so having that job description allows us to be proactive. So when I'm working with agents and we go through it, it's like, okay, well, are you making your phone calls? Are you texting people? And phone calls still to this day, you guys, we have so many leads, and when you run these big teams, it is such a difference that pick up the freaking phone. Like when it's text and when it's email, we do not see the same conversion results. When we actually call them, even if we're leaving messages, it actually goes up. So I still say this, even though it might sound like, well, I just text an email. Well, you shouldn't, you should call. But, we're always good to trying to be proactive, not kind of like reactive, like when we have a problem, but it's like going through it is really important, and we can measure leading measures. Okay. So if I say to Christian wants to do, put 2 deals into escrow this month coming up in May, and we just kind of see how it's going every week. I check in with them and I'm like, hey, do you have one yet? Like, do you have one yet? Like, and we get to the end of the month and it's like, yeah, I almost, almost got 2. I got 1, but I didn't get to 2. It's like, oh, bummer. Maybe next month then. Maybe next month, now you want 3. Let's see if we can do 3. That is really tough to like help an agent be productive. It's very different when it's like, hey, Christian, how many people do you need to be working with? And you can answer this. How many people do you need to be working with in order to get what I say, two deals into escrow. How many people do you actively need to be working with?
I mean, probably 5 to 7 people.
That's right, like 5 to 7 people. Do you have 5 to 7 people? We're role playing, but do you have 5 to 7 people that you're working with right now?
Yeah, I do.
Awesome. So what do you need to do then in order to like get those 5 to 7 people to get 2 of them potentially to find a house in the next month?
I need to make phone calls and set appointments with them, get in front of them.
Okay, awesome. How many phone calls and how many appointments? Like, what's your goal?
Probably at least 30 phone calls, and I'd like to get in at least 2 appointments, like each person, like do
Okay.
a consult and follow appointment.
So that'd be like 14, about 14 appointments, right? You
Mhm.
said with the 7 and 30 phone calls. Okay,
Mhm.
now if I am a leader and managing to the phone calls and the appointments every week, that's way easier. And we have a high probability, or at least we understand what happened at the end of May if he didn't do it versus just trying to get 2 into escrow. So those job descriptions are really important to understand that. Okay, next, the side dish. And I think like my side dish, I'm gonna see if I can get through all of this, you guys. I was like, I'm like blah. All right, when we talk about motivation and how do we understand like how we're successful and how we help our agents be successful, 2 things is who are they trying to work with, their target audience, because we all have like a slightly different. I mean, our goal is to get to the point where maybe we only get to work with people who know, like, and trust us, and we know, like, and trust them in the beginning for a long time, like 10 years. You work with whomever wants to buy or sell a home. But I do think it's important for agents to identify, and this is something we can do as leaders, is to understand like, well, who would your ideal client be? All right, because it just helps you when you're at an open house. It helps you when you're getting context with a conversation with somebody, is like, is this person for me or not? So what does that look like? It's a great, this is kind of my give back. Joanne, I see your question. For you guys, that's a great activity to do with your agent, is like to think about like, okay, what would we call, I like giving them a name, you guys. Like Zillow does this too, but we have Metro Mitch, we have Sam and Sherry Savvy, we've got Nick and Nikki Nesting, and we have Independent Izzy. And like they all are just like an example of a person. So it's fun to name them because then you just get to have fun talking about them. So let me ask you, Jen, I'll use you as an example, but Jen, who, like the people that are like your favorite people, like, you know how you just like tend to like attract these like certain people and you probably really connect with them and they're like your A-list clients and you love them in general, like what's their occupation? Like what type of people, like what do they do?
I'd probably say corporate America, customer service, maybe something like that.
That's awesome.
You know, we've had a couple of clients who are like engineers,
Mhm.
total nerds,
Mhm.
but you know, we can connect. I mean, we can connect with anyone. I mean, those people even eventually like open up because
Yeah.
you know, we try to be awesome.
Yeah.
So the fun part about Jen is she used to be a detective, basically a private
Awesome.
investigator. So she knows people.
So you know
Uh,
people, Jen. Yeah.
yeah.
So the value in it
Yeah.
is like, let's say Jen, I love what she said, like, okay, you know, typically it's really weird, but like most of my people tend to be like customer service, or they tend to be in corporate America. Is it men, women, couples, families, young babies, any of that stuff, age? Like, how would you describe them looking at this? Could you, like, and the people that you really like, there's no energy in it. Like, you're like, man, I actually really enjoy working with these people and it's fun. And it's why I love to do what I do.
Yeah. I'd have to say what's so strange is before I started real estate, I've always said my whole life I love old people, but
Mhm.
not in real estate. I will say
Yeah,
that.
totally.
I've
Yeah.
learned that I do not like old people in real estate. But I think for the most part, for me personally, my favorite client is a VA. You know, we love our military and our people who serve. So I think a lot are I want to say millennials and Gen Zs have no interest in getting married, yet they want to buy a house together.
Yeah.
They're probably the easiest ones.
And so could you see, like, again, we have leads, right? We get people, we have inbound, like, and when we're building a real estate business, there, we'll help anybody, and there's just like, we just run into people through whatever avenue, lead generation, that conversion that we end up working with them. But really trying to build this like business that you love to work and you love all your people and you want to like, you know, help them for years and you hope they always call you. If you said, like, even if you took the people you just talked about, like the millennial couple, not married, want to buy a house together, and you identified them and thought about them, and then really tried to kind of tailor some of your business and marketing and just branding to them, it, as an individual, even within a team, it's really, it's kind of fun, like to just start to think about your business. So this is helpful to help agents identify and connect with a target demographic, and your target demographic changes over time. Okay. So mine is, I love first time home buyers. And when I first started in real estate, I worked with people who were single and wanted to buy condos or townhomes. That was my jam. Right. And then I grew up, they grew up, and just kind of growing up with these people. Right. But I think that that is something too that is really helpful in helping agents be productive, because the structured approach can actually help people get to their sales goals. And I think in real estate, our sales goal as agents is to get to a point where we have a book of business that we've built and people that we really want to take care of and have these clients for life. So that's something too. The worksheet is there that we will send out to everyone. But that target audience and understanding that, and then how do you implement it? How do I market to them? How do I do it? Is just a great way to connect with your agents and help them with productivity. And in the meantime, before we just skip to dessert, Joanne asked a question about, is there a way to calculate goals, you know, kind of without using Sisu? And I mean, the easiest way to do it is, you know, I always love, Joanne, is like, it always seems to be true in any market, and I coached agents across the country that like, it's always double. So if I want to have like 2 in escrow, I need to be working with at least 4. Like Christian even said today, maybe it's 5 to 7, and that's legit. Like, but if you don't have double, you're in trouble already. And then again, it seems to be, even if you want to use general numbers, even if you just keep doubling that up the pipeline, you know, so the first one is, how many leads do I need? Then how many people do I need to speak with and have a conversation? How many people do I set an appointment to met, to working with, to, you know, contract to close? And all of those, even if you start with that, Tom Ferry years ago always used to say, if you're a new agent, it's 40 to 1. So you have to have 40 conversations in order to get a sale, a closing.
That's
And
more of my question, is how many conversations. I've always just been good at conversations, and I'm a producing agent and I do really well, but when setting goals first, like an incoming agent, I tell them to have 40 conversations a week,
Yeah.
but I don't know where that really is coming from. So I was like,
and they can.
oh,
And
I don't know how many
40
people you're supposed to talk to, just talk.
And so I think the 40 was always high, but I would say like, there were years that I actually really tracked it because I was coaching for Tom. So I wanted to be able to like say like, hey, this is what really was. And I found a lot of people, the number was more 27, like Tom loves to, and I get it, say 40, because there's 2 different types of people, right? There's the people that are motivated by 40. And if I say I'm going to try to do 40, I may actually do 20. And then someone like me, if you told me to do 40, I'm like, I can't do 40. I'm not going to do it. I quit. Right. But if you told me to do 27 or 25, I actually would try to hit 25. Right. And so you have to know who you're dealing with. But then I think there are people that the 40 number might work, but even 27 was always a good one. And I think even for myself personally, it got down to about 17. Oh, and Liv said like too, like the Sharon's
I was just gonna say,
really
yeah.
good for
So
calculations.
we do. Can you guys hear me? Okay, because I'm
Yeah.
driving. We did
Oh, we
did
can't hear you.
Sharon's, and it was his magic number, and it.
Yeah.
Oh, can you not hear
Go
me?
ahead. Now I can. Sorry. Yep.
No, I'm gonna turn the camera off. We did, Sharon has the magic number. Basically, it's a worksheet. And I don't know, Liv, if you dropped it in there, but basically it just helps the agents come up with a daily magic number of how many conversations that they need to have. So aside from Sisu and all the complexity there and stuff like that you probably don't need yet, check out that. And then they just know their number. I don't know, Christian or Jen, do you guys know your magic number? Do you guys remember what that is for conversations per day?
I think mine's like it's
Yeah.
shoot, I can't remember.
Mine was 5 conversations a day.
Yeah, it's
I
usually
think
around
mine's about the
4 or
same.
5. Yeah, 4 or 5, it's kind of for the elevated level of where they are, and then every agent's going to have their own goals. I would say that's a really easy way for them to be able to have that number and just say, okay, today I have to have X amount of conversations. Then you get into the weeds into what's a conversation and all that stuff. But just,
Sure.
to get them started, I would get that magic number and let them go there and don't overcomplicate it to start.
Does the magic number come from his business plan?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
Sorry, I can't get my
Yeah.
video to work today. I don't know why,
No,
but
that's
I'm
okay.
here.
And I think the big thing is I just want to say, in my experience, is like, no matter what, is like, I think, if, starting wherever, like even 5, like Christian, do you have 5 conversations a day? I bet you probably don't. Do you really have 5 every day?
Not every day, no.
Right. And so I think it's like just getting in the habit of having conversations, like even if you try to have 1 a day, 5 a week, and then you build on it, right? Because it's like, if I am not achieving my goals, let's have more and more. And I love Sharon too. It's great to do any of that stuff, just like Tom, whatever, till you know your real numbers. But I think that when we got the numbers a little bit more realistic and achievable and built on it, that I'd rather celebrate that than just feeling like I don't even have 5 people to talk to. I mean, when I work with so many new agents,
Yeah.
like, okay, I have like 3 people. Do I just keep calling them? I'm like, no, don't keep calling them. Like, or texting them. They're going to like not want to work with you. Right. And so I think it's tempering all that, but just Joanne, start with something and work your way up, like whether that is like, and I love some of the
Yeah.
things that you guys have talked about, and Jen put something in there too, the daily tracker. So that's the next
Hey,
one.
Jen, is that the 100-point day? Is that the 100-point day tracker? Because I know are you using
Yeah.
that one? Okay, we
Yeah.
could share that one. Liv, do you want to drop that one too? Yeah, that's a cool one.
It's just so
So there's,
helpful.
yeah, let's drop that in there. I know I actually don't watch those like I used to, only because my Slack is bananas, but yeah, I know that we have a lot of tools for agents to use what works for them.
And so like the last thing is, again, the dessert is just that clarity, and it's kind of what we're talking about right now of performance tracking, right? And so clear goal setting and meticulous tracking. Now, meticulous tracking with agents, good luck. Like myself included, I was never a meticulous tracker. Maybe I could commit to meticulous tracking for a short period of time in order to give me data and numbers to move forward. But it's super tough. But what really is successful when we go all the way back to number 1 of like personal goals is like, what are you trying to do? Like, what are your agents trying to do? What's their someday goal? Like, what does that look like for them? What's their personal life look like? What's their work life look like? And then if in order to get to someday, what would they have to be? Where would they like to be in 3 years? And then even to think about 1 year, and then get down to like, I love quarter, but then even the month and the day. And so planning all that stuff, if we plan our days and we plan, like, this is the conversation we're having right now. Joanne's talking about, she kind of knows how many she needs. Jen's saying, I'm doing this tracking. Christian's saying, I know it's about 5. If you plan those weeks and then you work on the implementation of it, it's really profound, right? And I do this to this day for myself of like, where am I trying to go to? And sometimes it changes, but like, if I want to achieve this someday, what do I have to, ideally, what would 3 years from now look like? What would it be like in a year from now? And then even what do I need to be doing? And it makes it very clear when you're talking about helping agents be productive, are they doing those things or not? Go ahead to the next one too. And so when we're looking at that is like, we want to make sure we're always looking at our personal, because motivation comes a lot of times from like personal goals that we have. Like, we're doing things in business in order to achieve personal, but like, we know that like self-care is really important and taking care of ourselves, because if you're not like right up here, I don't think you can go out and be right in your business life, and it's really tough. So kind of taking both of those, your personal and your business goals, and just putting them into big buckets at first. And then, like you said, Joanne, like sitting down and having a conversation like I did with Christian, like if he wants to have, okay, first of all, why does he want to have, this is all made up, but like 2 in escrow every month? Why does he want to have 2 closings? What does that money mean to him? Or what is it buying or doing or motivating? Or why does he show up and want to do this? And then also then putting it into context is really helpful. And it's really easy to coach and hold people accountable to too. So when we talk about this, you can stop sharing. I don't think there's anything else, but I mean, to end ones, but you know, those why, like the target planning is helpful for like big picture, why are we doing this? And why do I care? And then it's basically breaking it down into all these business plans, and business plans can be the 100-day one that got dropped, Sharon's, a traditional business plan, a 1-page plan, a target plan, a 90-day plan, a 30-day plan. It really doesn't matter, but just actually having some sort of plan for productivity is really helpful. If you can get, and Joanne, like I was saying too, like I love all these, we used to do spreadsheets and we're going to get back to this. We're starting to see a shift in the market, right? Where you can't just go out and things just magically happen because there's so much business, that we used to do all of this stuff. But even if it was chicken scratch, even if it was like, I don't really care, every time you make a phone call or you have a conversation with someone or you text somebody and you get a response, just do a hashtag and let's just see how many we get at the end of the week. That is just data, and data helps us really be able to hit our goals and make decisions. So questions, comments for 7 minutes? Anybody?
I think one more thing too is we transparently started to show our agents' numbers to the whole team, meaning where are they at for the year with closed transactions or pending transactions. And so we opened it up so that everybody could, we do this weekly. We can see where everybody's at. So yeah, I think for accountability on everybody's part, it helps me to be able to see big picture and the agents to be able to see where maybe they can help others too, because we really do run a team. Really what I want is a team where everybody's helping everybody. And it's, again, we're providing the atmosphere. So for example, I'll use you, Jen. We just had a new agent come on, Julia, who has a lot of great potential. You can usually tell right away. And Jen, you saw it. And Jen said, hey, I'm going to grab her and I'm going to help her out. And just like that, somebody from within is going to help somebody else grow. And when those numbers show up on the screen, I'm sure Jen's going to take some great pride in watching that agent grow and being a part of that success.
I think one of the things that has been a powerful shift for me in meeting with agents is talking to agents in the very beginning and telling them that I'm super excited that they are an entrepreneur, right? They chose to be an entrepreneur and start a business, not a job, and that it is a business and that ultimately it's theirs, right? And I think to understand like who's responsible, like that's a really big thing when we go back, when we're talking about from a team leader perspective, trying to help people be productive, try to reach their goals, is like, okay, who's responsible? Like I said, what is Jen responsible for? What is Christian responsible for? What is even Brenna or Liv responsible for? And what am I responsible for? And really that responsibility is key, because most agents, it's distortion, like deflection. Oh, it's not my fault. Oh, this happened. Oh, that happened. And I think just having that baseline conversation of understanding like, okay, who's responsible for this is really important in accountability. Another one is just having those check-ins with people, right? And a lot of times it comes down to these 4 things, and I have this on my social media. It's like, it's knowledge. Either I don't know how to do something. It's attitude or belief, like, and that's cool. Like we all need some kind of shift sometimes into what we're thinking. I do to this day. It's a skill, like, right? I can't say how many agents, we talk about this every week on the team, how many just don't know how to do something. They just need a skill. Like, how do I send a video email instead of like a regular email? I don't know how to use Loom or BombBomb. So it's just understanding that. And the H is habits. So cash, KASH, H is habits, and not making a habit of it and making it consistent. And then, like I said, how do we track them on our phone? Siri dropped that awesome work form, but all of those things are really important. So, woo! Again,
Woo.
my computer's done. The hour's almost done, but anything else?
Yeah, any other questions that you all have or anything else we can go over? We have a couple minutes.
If not, then next week. It's next week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Next
we're
week
gonna
we'll be back.
talk about agent productivity. I think again, haven't got confirmation, Liv or Brenna, right? I mean, I think Bailey Edwards, who's a team leader, runs a brokerage and a teamerage kind of out of Oklahoma City, was going to hop on and just be a guest. Another person, she's kind of a badass at getting people into production and having the agents be successful. So she'll probably join in our conversation, but that will be next week. Is just a continuation of, I think one of the toughest things that was a skill for me to learn, and I know it's a lot for the leaders on my team too, is that accountability. And we all work better under accountability, right? I'm a big believer in when I'm accountable to other people for my health, for my exercise, for business, like I just perform better. The world is so distracting, and it's just a lot to just keep yourself in a space of being like motivated, like I can do this. So just having that support around you in accountability is like ultimately the highest form of love, right? Of just like loving people in a way where you're going to be honest with them and help them get to their goals is I think just like a huge gift that we can give people. And that's where this comes out of, not like just to be like, there are coaches that are accountable. It's like, you suck. And people thrive in that. That's okay. I don't think Siri, you're that way and I'm not that way. you know?
No, but
I
I'm always too like, you know what, at the end of the day, go work. Like I think sometimes we can loop so many things into them. And now that I'm back in production, I personally am an agent running a team, and I see things where I'm like, we need to just really encourage them to go work and not fill them with so many things at the same time. And so there's this fine balance in providing and overseeing, and also letting them go be out and being
Yeah.
productive out in the field. And so I think that's really something that we've been working harder on, and will continue to make sure that we hold them accountable, we love on them, and we also let them go work.
And that goes back to what I said, like I love is that everyone's an entrepreneur, they're starting a business, and giving them that freedom and autonomy to go and run their business and do it and to be self-managed, right? Like provide all the tools and support. And like you said, and things are there for you when you need them. But I think a lot of times, like there's a lot of teams out there too that get into that micromanagement where it's like, I'm going to micromanage you and tell you everything you should do and how you should do it and blah, blah, blah. And that just, it's like too much. So, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
So thank you all. See you next
All
week.
right. See you
Thank you
next
guys
week,
so
everybody.
much.
Thank
Guys.
you.
Appreciate you. Thank
All right.
you.
All right. Bye.